welcome to the UGC Boss Podcast. I'm your host, Gloria. I've been a UGC creator for the past 2 years, creating over 750 plus UGC ads and have surpassed 10K a month with UGC. And with me is my co-host, Alex, a business expert here to break down the strategy behind scaling content into cash. And today we're talking with Jared. Welcome to the UGC Boss Podcast, first of all. Yeah, for sure. We're excited to have you here. And we know you've been crushing it as a UGC creator, pulling in some impressive monthly revenue. And today we'll kind of dive into your journey from your background in business and how you found success in this creator space. So thanks so much, Jared, for joining us. And we can't wait to hear your tips and insights.
All right. Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, for sure. So let's just start off here with how did you first get into UGC?
So I was living in Barcelona. I went there with my son and I had a lot of time on my hands. And I think I came across a UGC creator on TikTok that I connected with. I think she was a little older and I just enjoyed her content. And I wasn't super familiar with UGC outside of just regular influencer marketing. And so I started watching some videos and I was like, hey, this looks fun. I have an acting background. I'm comfortable in front of the camera. Maybe this is something I could do. So I had started acting again. I had set up a profile on Backstage. And so I started looking for UGC stuff and applied to some few of the roles, got some projects, and that was kind of just how it started. So I had zero background, didn't know really anything about it, knew that I had a camera and I knew how to film a little bit, and that was it.
Cool. Yeah. Apparently, you are a man of many talents, obviously. Started off with acting. And right now, I believe you are currently, tell me if it applied to earlier as well. You said that you are running multiple businesses at this point simultaneously while doing UGC as well.
Yeah, in fact, that's actually, I think, one of the things that's held me back a little bit from where I want to take this now. I run a recruiting company. That's been my core business for 23 years now. I started recruiting a long time ago. And I run 3 Shopify, well, not Shopify stores, drop shipping stores. And then I'm an actor. And in fact, I'm here in LA right now shooting a film. So that's why I'm here. The last 6 months, I've been coming to LA so much, and I live in Salt Lake City, that it's actually been a little bit of a hindrance because I'll get a brief from a client and they'll say, hey, can you shoot this next week? I'm like, oh man, I'm going to be in LA shooting next week. It's going to be hard because I don't know what my schedule is. And so that's kind of been a little bit of a deterrent. I have great relationships with some clients and with some agencies. And so I've been able to work around that. But as I was telling Gloria on our call last week, I think decided last month when I had a really good financial month in the UGC that this is kind of where I'm going to start focusing and putting a lot more time and direct effort into this.
Is there a reason why you're choosing UGC and choosing to scale UGC than your other business models?
I just really like it. I mean, that's what it comes down to. I enjoy the creativity part of it. I enjoy the flexibility. I mean, I shoot here. I bring my ring light that I use. I bring all of my sound equipment. So I can shoot just as good here as I can in Salt Lake. It's just more of a time thing. In fact, right after this, I'm going to go finish up some B-roll shots for a client that I was shooting here. So the flexibility I enjoy. I like the creativity part. I like shooting with my dog, my cat. It's kind of fun. My son, my wife. It's fun to do that. So not. I think at my stage in life, it's really just a great business model for my lifestyle.
Sure. And then you're also managing so much at one time. Like you run other businesses and then you're an actor, right? Which is crazy. So what time management tips do you have for that creator that's working that 9 to 5 or has another business, right? How did they manage, running a UGC business or starting a UGC business while doing these other things?
Well, I do know that some of the UGC creators that I've spoken with closely, people in my city, a lot of them, most of them have full-time jobs, right? So they'll get 2 or 3 briefs a week, and what they do is they just set aside a time on the weekend, right? They say, hey, we're going to wake up on Saturday morning and shoot all 3 briefs in one day, or however long it takes them. So I know a lot of people do that. For myself, I just try to prioritize. If I get a handful of briefs right up front, I'll take a look at all of them, and I'll kind of put them into, hey, this is going to take me an hour. This is going to take me 2.5 hours. This might take me a little bit more. And then I snuck them off. I try to do all my B-rolls at once, and changing outfits, of course. But I'll put a shot list together, all the B-rolls. I'll knock all those out, and then I'll just knock the scripts out. So that's how if I have a lot that I need to work on at once, that's kind of how I do that. I just kind of break them down by which ones are going to be the easiest, take a little more time, and go from there. And then as far as managing with all the other businesses, it's just when I have time, right? If I have a call at 12 and I get done at 12:30 and my next call is until 3, it's like, hey, I've got an hour and a half to knock out a brief or a little project.
For sure. And it sounds like you're doing a lot of those, like, that UGC where it's like really brief centered and really just like whip out your phone and just like take care of that list. So I guess my question to you is like, sounds like you have a lot of these like relationships and strong relationships, like you've mentioned. How do you get your clients, right? And how do you maintain the strong relationship going forward with them?
Well, and this would be for any business. I think the best way to maintain those strong relationships is by providing a good product, right? And value. That's one of the things that I was really impressed when you and I spoke, was about what you do and how you share with clients and what you do above and beyond what they're requesting. And that's exactly right. I mean, I think that's really going to set you or whoever wants to be doing this apart from others. For me, it's giving them the best product that I can. It's doing it on time, hopefully early, right? I try to do everything at least a day earlier than they've requested. Um, and then it's just kind of open communication, right? I'm connected with a lot of people on WhatsApp, and I'll always, hey, have a good weekend. It was fun working this week. Looking forward to the next project, and a lot of follow up and things like that. I think those little things will kind of set you apart from other people.
For sure.
Yeah, sounds like relationship management. Do you feel like, I mean, that's obviously very important. Do you feel like the niches that you pick were a contributing factor to your success in UGC? In fact, I believe you're nicheless right now, right? So at least
Yeah,
you like,
I'm sorry. Yeah, I have not put myself into one niche. I I would say that if somebody were to look at my portfolio, they might say I'm more health and wellness. I've done a lot of supplements, medications, uh, things for achy bones or joints, and massagers and that kind of thing. Again, I'm middle aged, so that's kind of I get a lot of that type of work. But I've done pets. I've done stuff with my team. I've done skincare, beard stuff. I mean, I've done a little of everything, and I actually enjoy that. Kind of it keeps me um, excited about it, right? I think if I got stuck into one thing, I might get a little bit bored. But having, hey, I got to do this one, and then I got to go do shooting with my dogs, and then I got to go hiking and do a hydro flask. It's just kind of more fun that way.
Yeah.
but I mean, still, right? It is not the, I would say, obvious niches that pretty much everybody goes into, which are just fashion and beauty, I guess. So we talked before, and it was, as you said, right, pet stuff, software, apps, stuff like that, which again, not a lot of UGC creators get into, and I guess you have an advantage over a lot of people, which is your profile. Uh, the big great beard, for anybody who's listening and not watching. Jared is a very handsome man with a great beard, and so I guess that would be one one thing that probably resulted in this success. In fact, I want to dig a little bit more into this. In the last year, you started to take UGC more seriously, I believe. And so
Yeah, a little over a year and a half.
yeah. So again, skyrocketed success, I would say. So with your first 10K month, was it May, I believe, was the
Yes.
first one? And so prior to that, I believe I remember you were making around 5 to 7K a month. What was the change that took it from that 5K, let's say, to now, or I guess May, where it was 10K?
Well, in all honesty, it was one big project. I mean, I was at about the 7,000 mark, and I got a big VSL, like a 48-page VSL, and that really just took it over that 10K. A VSL, a video sales letter, for those listening
Those are the
that might not
best.
know. But I have found that those are great projects, right? The business niche pays really well. Um, Law firms, even small law firms or real estate. I've done a lot of like real estate investment and real estate legal projects. Those tend to pay quite a bit more than even a lot of the big brands.
Why do you think they do, though?
I think because they need to, right? I mean, think of it this way. If Google came to you and said, hey, we want you to do a UGC brief, but we're only going to pay you $100, it's Google. Like most people are going to say, okay, oh my God, I want to do a project for Google. Even I would, right? It's Google. But then you get this law firm from Phoenix, Arizona, that probably nobody really knows outside of that area, but they want to expand. So I think they need to pay more maybe to draw people in to do that work. That would be kind of my guess. They're also, well, I know Google is too, but they're also business people. They understand that they need to pay better for
Yeah.
things or more. At
Do you
least in
think they
my,
have
like,
bigger
I
budget?
would. So, say, no, no, I don't think so.
Like the law firms, for example, because I know where Gloria is going, because the Google and then some practically nameless in comparison to that law firm that we have a the main difference is really notoriety. Is that the right word? So how many
Yeah.
people know the brand, right? But again, if we take a fashion brand, I would say in the same kind of level of people know about it. I think, and I guess we've seen it through experience, that a law firm in the same position would actually pay better, Gloria, if you would, I don't know if you would back that up, than the fashion brand, I guess in the same on the same level.
Well, look, so my other business is recruiting, right? And I run into this a lot of the time. These these really brand recognized companies like Cokes and Google and HP, right? They, I'll take Google out of that because Google's a different. But some of these other really big companies, they tend to pay less than some of the smaller startups or mid-level startups, right? And so if these startups want to, but they have the brand recognition and everybody wants to work at HP or everybody wants to work here, right? So in order for these smaller companies to attract that talent from these other companies, they need to pay more
Mm.
and they need to offer better fits. They need to offer better whatever. Because if not, this excellent engineer that's over at HP isn't going to want to move to this other smaller company, right? So I guess that, like you said, from my experience, that's kind of what I would guess is happening when you're looking at like a smaller local law firm. Gloria, you and I talked about uh, local focus, and that's something that I'm really going to start working on when I get back to Salt Lake.
Hmm.
Is, hey, I want to go out to my local community where I could go down and shake somebody's hand and start pitching UGC to these guys and see how that is. So, and I think a lot of that is just for companies that are really trying to improve their online presence because maybe they ran a Google ad or a Facebook ad, but they really haven't done much or they don't know the analytics or anything like that. And so UGC is something that can really help. And I've seen a lot. If you watch TikTok, you see a lot of small companies now doing really cool creative ads. So
Yeah, for sure. Starting local is never a bad idea, or doing local, because you again, you get to shake their hand, right? But also you get the opportunity to expose these like smaller businesses to UGC, and you get to teach them what UGC is, be the first, in on UGC, and that's like a value in itself, right? And it's so cool how like, you're close to each other too. You can meet up in person, and it just sets you apart from like everyone else reaching out for
yeah.
a UGC service or anything like that.
Yeah, it's funny because one of an ad I saw a few days ago kind of started getting me thinking about that because it was somebody that had obviously gone into like a little shop, a local shop, and just took some cool pictures of the natural people working in the store and the manager doing like a little testimonial, and how they edited it though was really really creative, and I was like, that's something I want to do, is like kind of get into that. The other day I did an ad for a hearing, not a hearing, earplug company. And I went down to the Harley shop. I had bought a Harley before, so they knew me, but I went down to the Harley shop. They let me use one of their bikes and I rode it out to the front and shot in front of the store and everything. Little stuff like that's fun. I don't know. It's cool.
Yeah, for sure. That's crazy. I like it. You're going above and beyond with your UGC.
I try. I think you asked me, and I apologize if I didn't answer, but you asked me where I was finding stuff,
Yeah, like
like finding projects.
where are you landing deals and how are you landing deals?
So I would say about right now, 50% are from agencies that I've built relationships with, right? And so they're pretty consistent. I'm getting 4, 5, 6, 7 briefs every month from them, and there's a few that I'm working with. The other ones, I would say maybe 20% are from backstage. Backstage is where I started. It's super effective. I find a lot of work there. And a lot of those are new agencies as well that, you can start building a relationship with. And I just signed a contract now for a new brief. And then the other 10%, 15% is just reach out. I've been using Bento. I do a lot of outreach on my own and just uh, finding clients that way.
For sure.
Do you have any specific systems for that outreach?
Well, Bento is automated, so that's made it super easy the last few weeks. I was looking at the metrics the other day, and they're averaging anywhere from 30 to 55 emails a day. And these are all, targeted. They help you set them up, and then I get to go in and review and make updates, and they break it down by industry, of course, and so they personalize each email for that industry and brand. So the emails that I've seen that are going out are really actually good, and I've received a few very positive replies. I've already signed, I think, 3 or 4 deals through their outreach. So as far as a system, it's just an automated one that they're setting up.
But you do not do then like outreach yourself? You're just leaving it to Bento completely?
My personal, how I kind of do it is if I'm scrolling on TikTok or Instagram and I see an ad or a company that looks interesting, I reach out like almost immediately. I'll follow them on Instagram. I'll send a DM, and I've got like the templates like saved on my phone, so it's pretty easy just to send them. Same thing on TikTok. I'll follow a brand. I'll send them, and I'll send them my little short UGC pitch. And if I can put them on a spreadsheet, and if I can find an email or something, I'll use Bento because Bento has a lot of the emails and brands already set up that way. So I can go in and look and see if I can find somebody there.
All right. I mean, I guess that clears it up. When you do get a brand deal, though, when somebody says yes, you mentioned that you go above and beyond, which is very good to hear. And with that, I believe we talked about this before. with that comes something that you're dabbling in right now, which is like you're testing out like the AI features, testing out AI UGC maybe, and putting that in as a freebie, right? You're not charging for it extra. What results do you think that has gotten you, and where does it go from here with that?
So right now it's kind of hard to give any results because it's really new. Like I just kind of started doing it. And in fact, after I met Gloria and I went and I looked at her profile and her portfolio and went through and watched most of the videos that she's done, I was like, man, I have got to up my game because I am way behind. I'm not just trying to buttering up the host, but Gloria is really kind of what I would want to inspire my business to be. Maybe not the agency side, but who knows? Um, but her deliverables, her content, her creativity, her above and beyond is really something that I think any UGC should really want to like aspire to. So, for example, I'm doing a brief now, the one I was mentioned that I have to finish today. And it was just raw footage, right? I have to, it was a script, it was short, 10 B-roll shots, really easy ones. And they just wanted the raw footage. But I put together an entire TikTok and Instagram done real, edited 100%. I did use an AI video tool to help because I can edit basic, but this one, the one I'm using was really cool and it like threads it together and makes it look really good. And so I'll be sending that. No pictures because there was no product that was provided. But I wrote another script and that I thought was a little bit more geared towards the executives that they're targeting. So I reshot the script with that as well. So I'm going to be sending all of that to them, And so instead of just sending 3 options of the script like I normally do, plus the B-roll, they're going to be getting the 3 options of the script, the B-roll, 3 other shoots of the new script, plus 2 full videos that are ready to literally put online if they like them. I think they're cool, but we'll see. So that's the above and the beyond.
And you said
And
AI helped you out?
yeah, I'm sorry.
You said AI helped you out?
So I think AI. So going back to AI is going to be an amazing tool for creators to, well, at least in my opinion, edit videos, edit pictures, create. I have a tool that I can take a picture of the product. It automatically removes the background and then makes this like really cool video around it, right? And it's like studio ready images. It's just super cool. The video editing software, I have to upload the main clip and then I can upload the video, small B-roll clips and photos, and it does all the captions, it does the music, it does the editing, it literally puts together this amazing video with the content that I've created, like the live content, and just and puts it together into a video that I can use. So yeah, I'm a huge fan of AI. I don't think it's going to replace us. I think it's going to, for those of us that know how to use it and learn how to use it, I think it will tenfold our business output.
What would you like? And by the way, AI is like, there's a lot of creators freaking out about, hey, AI is going to take over our, jobs soon in the years coming, right? But what would you tell those creators that are freaking out and they're like having these like limited beliefs about AI?
I would just say, learn how to utilize it. Learn it. Learn how to write really good prompts, right? For ChatGPT, the basic one everybody knows, right? But there's tons of other ones. Find a really good tool. I don't want to pitch anybody particularly, but I found a tool called Detail. It's new, so I can't give a lot, but so far I really liked it. It's an editing tool. But I think with AI, I think people freaking out. It's not just this industry, right? People in business are thinking, oh, my job's gone, customer service is gone, accounting gone, all of these other industries that AI could do like this. There's people freaking out. So I I think in some cases they're probably right. But I think for creators, I think it's just they need to embrace it and really learn how to use it, and then add that to their arsenal of content that they put out.
For
Yeah.
sure.
I mean, it is definitely a thing that we've been noticing that's going around. People thinking that AI is going to replace UGC, especially with the new, I don't know, what was it, VEO3 model from Google, like with the generated videos. What do you think about that, Gloria?
I think that that's a limited belief. You have to become. It's just like creators are scared because they have to step up their game, right? They have to become irreplaceable. They have to uh, think in a way to provide more value because there's a lot of creators out there that are doing the bare minimum, right? Bare minimum in acquiring clients and delivering on clients, and it shows up in every area of their business. So essentially, I feel like these creators are scared because they understand that AI is better than them. But you have to ask yourself, how can I be better than AI? What can I provide that AI can't provide? Right. And that's my opinion on it. Yes, AI is taking over every industry, but there will always be brands out there that crave that human-like authenticity, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
So are those the people that you've been talking about, Jared? The people that this probably might affect? The people that are just, I guess, doing the bare minimum that
Well, you mentioned VO3. So for example, if there's a UGC creator that can learn how to make really good videos using VO3, right? Then it's probably not going to matter. This might sound weird. The UGC might not matter as much to them because now they have a skill that they can go out and sell to
Mm,
clients, and and maybe they could pitch it as AI generated UGC, which I'm sure is going to happen. But instead of, hey, this person who's maybe a subpar creator on the regular type of videos now can like make these really cool Yeti videos, right, that we see all over on TikTok or whatever they might be, and then he can go to brands and say, hey, yeah, I want to make these videos for you and this. So I don't know yet. I think it's still kind of young, so we're gonna really see how it affects the space.
yeah. And overall, like having the mindset of like inviting it in, right? When it's coming and it's blowing up, invite it in, right? And if it's becoming a
Yeah,
buzzword where brands are like biting on it, invite it in and incorporate it into your service. And boom, you're a UGC creator and you're an AI agency, or you're a UGC creator that's based around AI, right?
yeah,
And that's the power in AI. Like it's all abundance. You just gotta ask yourself, and to the members or the viewers listening to this right now, just ask yourself, like, hey, how can I improve with AI? How can I improve my service with AI? How can I generate more sales and collabs with AI instead of competing against it? We're growing with it, right?
yeah. Well, look, Bento's a great option, right? I mean, it's got an AI agent that's doing all of my outreach. It's generating all the email templates.
Mm,
I have to approve them and make changes, but once that's done, it does all of the automation. It does all the follow up. It does all of the outreach, right? It's going out and finding brands and emails and contacts, and that's an AI tool. And I'm certainly going to utilize that, and that's certainly providing value for us as creators.
for sure.
I mean, this goes back to like core business principles, I guess, where this should tie in my opinion, which is like anti commoditization, right? I feel like the people who will be endangered by this are the people who, the creators who maybe commoditize themselves. Like again, do nothing out of the ordinary, which you said. That will be the people, especially if they then go against the whole AI trend and then vehemently defend themselves against using it or leveraging it to make their lives easier. I think that's going to be the problem, right? And it again fundamentally ties down to this business principle, which is don't be a commodity, right? Don't commoditize yourself. And I think Gloria, you definitely have opinions around that, which is how to not commoditize yourself in the UGC space, and then treat it, you know, how to escape that ever encroaching fear, or I guess danger of commoditization.
Yeah. Well, I think she mentioned it right, just now, saying that uh, going out to the clients now and saying, hey, I'm not just a UGC creator, but I'm also an AI expert that can help and do that, right? And so you're taking that step again from just creator to business owner, consultant, and selling and being able to sell it like that as a business as opposed to just yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
and
like
probably local.
overall there's an infinite amount of ways to like commoditize, right? So it's like just abundance around like not being scared and having fear. Just like look at the bright side, look at the future for this. It's very simple.
And I guess local UGC ties into this as well, because AI is not going to replace, the human to human connection that we have, the advantage that we have when doing local UGC, right? Going to, for you, Gloria, I believe it was like a like a skincare brand. For you, it was going to what was the Holly shop, and then riding around on motorcycles, right? This is
Oh yeah.
advantage in local UGC, which we can use again to our advantage. Um, yeah. Well, on the topic of helping creators, I think this is incredibly important. How can we leverage these tools against, or instead of, fighting against them? How can we leverage not only AI tools but other tools? In fact, Jared, I remember you know, uh, next to doing your UGC, running the businesses, you're also currently, if you want to talk about this, I know this is a new thing. So maybe if you don't want to talk about this, is your app that you're currently developing to help creators? You don't, need to lay out the whole plan, but maybe talk about how this could specifically help UGC creators. Um, Go ahead.
So my biggest problem as I've scaled, and we kind of touched on this a little bit with the time management, but my biggest problem has been trying to keep everything organized when it comes to UGC content, right? And again, I got this going on, I've got this going on. And so I get an email from a client with a brief, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool, this looks good. And I sit it down and I look at the brief, I know what I need to do. And then I move the email into my UGC folder. And then tomorrow I'm getting ready to go, and I'm like, oh, I can't find the email, I can't find the link. Where's the brief? How much were they going to pay me? Right, all of these little things like that. So basically, I'm just building, or I built an app that is just going to be. Oh, so of course, I was like, there's tons of project management softwares out there. Let me go see if I can find something. And I went out, and all of the ones that I found are just too clunky. Like there's just so much stuff that you don't need. Like I don't need to have this whole structure pictures and all of these movements. And it's like, I just want to be able to track what I'm doing. So basically I built a super simple UGC project tracking app. It's called UGC Manager Pro. And it's just going to be a really easy, simple, clean, no craziness. It's just, you get a brief, you upload the brief, you put in the information, the content, you have an attachment, you can attach the brief, any links, payment, when it's due. It gives you reminders of like, hey, this is due tomorrow, stuff like that. Has a CRM component to it, so you can touch base with all your clients on a regular basis. Has an invoicing, so you can send or create and or send invoices, and that's it. So for me, and honestly, I just built it for me. But then as I was getting closer to finish, I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. Like I think a lot of other UGC creators could benefit from this. So once it goes live, we're gonna offer just a one time for the first like 3 months, one time lifetime membership for all updates, upgrades, glow ups. Because I've got some big ideas now for what I want to do with it later. So yeah, it'll just be kind of a one-time thing, and then maybe a few months down from now, then we'll start changing it into more like a normal subscription model kind of thing. But right now, it's gonna be just a one-time lifetime fee.
How close are we then? You said you already built it, right? Which I didn't know. I thought it was still, work in
Yeah,
progress.
it's basically done. We're just finishing up the payment, the connection to like the payment stuff. that's about it. It's done. It's all on it's been on the test network right now. I think they're just moving it over to the live site and be ready to go.
That would be my next question. I guess you validated the product, by using it yourself or it being something that you use yourself. I wanted to suggest, I mean, we got the target audience right here, or at least one of them, which is Gloria, UGC creator. If that would be something that you would see you using yourself to kind of validate the idea. What do you think?
I'm sorry, me?
No, Gloria.
Oh,
She would be the target audience for this, right? A UGC creator.
Honestly, like I like that idea of putting everything in like a simple software. Because I agree, there's a lot of clunky. Like I've tried so many project management software, right? I got one to like work for me, right? A big one, but like either way, like I understand like the clunkiness, and we're just a UGC creator at the end of the day. It's not that it shouldn't be that confusing. It shouldn't be that deep. It should not be that like complex, right? We're a UGC creator. We need a pipeline, right? We need just like boom, 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 certain things to help us understand, what's going on in our business. But we don't need like a million like charts and graphs and everything to like be out there, right? And a lot of these, I agree, a lot of these softwares are like very clunky. So like I understand where you're coming from. Honestly, I'm very like I'm looking forward to giving it a try. Honestly.
absolutely. You'll be the first. I'll send it to you as soon as it's live. But for me, it was the same. It's the same. What I think a lot of the big softwares out there now, like again, coming from a recruiting background, we use applicant tracking systems, and the two systems that I've found in 23 years that are the best, easiest, cleanest, give you everything you want, are super small systems that none of the big companies use. And then the big company, there was two systems that came out, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, that a lot of the large enterprise companies now and mid-sized companies are using now, and they're actually really good. But every tool is missing something, right? They don't have these tools specifically have a terrible search function, which when you have an applicant tracking system is kind of a necessity, right? Because if I want to go into my system that has thousands and thousands of candidates, and hey, I want to search for somebody or a couple people that live in Minnesota, and I can't do that, what's the point of having this system to store all these people? So yeah, it's interesting that these big systems go out there and they just always are lacking or something's missing. So I just kind of broke mine down to like the super bare bones of what my challenges have been. And obviously we'll grow a little bit and add stuff as users put in requests, or hey, can you do this, or maybe this would be a good idea. So yeah, we'll see how it goes.
100%. And I like the sound of that, to be honest. Um, and I guess like going back to like the topic of UGC, for you, like you're really successful UGC creator. Not many people hit 10K a month with UGC. I know you said it was like kind of like you got a big deal and then blah, blah, blah. You still hit 10K a month with UGC, right? Most creators actually don't get to that mark. They don't even get to $1,000, a month with UGC. So my question to you is like, I guess more on your pricing. Like, how do you price your service? And like, in your opinion, like what's the best way to price, a UGC service as a UGC creator?
Well, let me say before I go into pricing, let me touch on something. So
Sure.
how I think I've scaled is because I say yes to everything except free stuff. I will not do gifted collabs. First of all, I don't have the time, right? When I first started, Gloria, you and I think met on our UGC Reddit group originally, right? I think that's where we connected. And I remember somebody was asking about gifted collabs, a beginner. And I'm really torn, to be honest. I think the advice that I posted under the comment was, hey, it's up to you. If you're beginning, you want to try to build a portfolio, right? So you can show your work. But man, I'm torn. And I think somebody commented about, it's when you reply and say you're not interested, they said something about, hey, check to see what their revenue was last year, right? And make a comment about, hey, I don't do gifted collabs, especially from companies that made $1 billion in profit last year. Like, well, why do you, how can you not pay somebody?
Yeah.
So I'm super torn on that. I don't have the time to do it right now, so I don't do any gifted collabs. The other thing going in, so when I started, and even almost to this point now, I will say yes to everything, even if it's below my rates. However, I also understand I can look at a brief and I know exactly, give or take, how long it's going to take. So if a brand reaches out to me, Jared, hey, can you record this real small testimonial? We'll give you $50. Okay, well, that's far below my rate. But I look at the testimonial and it's literally a talking head that's going to take 15 seconds.
Mm.
Of course. And I literally probably do it right then. Like I have my light, I have my camera, I put it into my teleprompter, I read it, and I'm done in, 5 minutes, a minute. And then I send it. And they're like, oh my God, this is great. Thank you so much. You sent it like immediately. This is cool. So that's one thing, right? Now, the other thing going kind of on that same scope is I started applying to things that were for females or advertised for females, right? We're looking for a female creator. Now, obviously, there's some products that I wouldn't apply to, but I just saw an ad they were looking for a female creator for a cat product, cat dental something. And I was like, well, I have a cat. I'm a guy, but I have a cat. My cat could probably use this. And so I applied to that. That was just before this call, so I don't know if they're going to reply or not. But I kind of just started going, you know what? I'm just going to reach out to everything, be nicheless, right? Anything that you can do. And then rates. Okay, so kind of my standard base rate for a 30 to 60-second basic vlog or talking head with minimal B-roll, 5 to 10 shots maybe, is about 150. And then it just goes up from there. I actually put a new rate sheet together just this last day with packages, of edited complete films, ads, raw footage, and then a group of extras that are offered. So the 150 is kind of where I start. Again, if somebody sends me a brief for $100 and it's super simple and something I can do really quick between other projects, then I'll absolutely do it, right? Especially with agencies, because I get so much work from those relationships that I don't want to put them off. I have found though that you can generally ask for a little more. If you can't say, hey, it's 500, but it's like, hey, 100's a little lower. Can we do 150? And 90% of the time they say yes.
Yeah. Do you have like a preference on like your favorite? Like, hey, I like doing this project over like this kind of project.
As far as niche or type
As
of,
far as like just type of UGC.
well, B-roll is the bane of my existence. I don't like B-rolls. I mean, I know it's part of it. And the funny thing is, it's actually so simple. The problem is I kind of overthink it. And, I'll take 1 or 2 shots and I'll watch them and I'm like, oh God, I don't like this. And I'll do it again. And, something that should take 30 minutes ends up maybe taking like an hour and a half because I just like, I'm particular about angles and lighting and everything. I don't know. No, I like vlogs where I love walking outside, especially if I get backgrounds like with blue sky and, I live in the mountains. And so when I'm doing a vlog with the camera like this, I get this amazing view of the blue sky and the mountain behind me. And I love that. It just kind of always comes up pretty good. But, no, I kind of enjoy doing it all.
I mean, I guess it's a common trend that we saw with was the, I believe, one podcast guest. It was David, right? That it again, a man, middle age, saying yes to pretty much a lot of collabs. Again, not the gifted ones. And that's how they rack up like these amazing amounts per month, which is very cool. And then also, you have that, steady inflow of collabs. They are like one-offs, I guess. Do you transform them again because you are over delivering a lot of the times, right? We heard about where it's just a bunch of B-rolls and then you throw in edits on the side. That's relationship building at the end. Do you find that it is a good way to transition then, or are you even trying to transition out of a lot of, let's say, smaller collabs, like a bunch of them, to maybe bigger ones? Or where does your UGC journey, where's it going to go in the future?
I'm sure there was a little bit of an echo. Can you repeat the question one more time?
Where do you want to go in your UGC journey? Do you want to scale, like how many one-off collabs you want to do? Do you want to do bigger ones?
I think after May, I kind of really decided that it was time to focus on this. So yeah, I absolutely want to put this kind of to the top of what I'm doing and all the businesses and really start to scale more and really dig in. That's it, again, that's why I went into Bento, because I wanted to start doing like a regular outreach as opposed to just the ones I was doing on my time. Putting that CRM together so I can continuously reach out to my past clients and say, hey, how are things going? Let's do some new projects. Luckily, some of the clients that I've worked with, even early on, have turned into reoccurring monthly projects. 3 or 4, and the prices have gone up. And not even with me asking. You said, hey, we really like your work. We're gonna bump your rate per video to this. There's 5 brands off the top of my head that I know that I do videos for every month. And I just got another one, the new one, so that would be 6. That I think I've set 6. Yeah, so that would be 6. The 6th one that's going to be a regularly monthly, couple videos a month. And after that, it's just going to be. I think now it's going to be a lot of the outreach, the direct outreach to brands, and then the local. I think that's what I'm going to focus on next month in July, is really focusing on local UGC.
Yeah, for sure. Awesome. And I guess what's your final piece of advice for, I guess, the aspiring UGC creator listening to this, and they're just they're starting their business or they're getting going. What piece of advice, what's your biggest piece of advice you have for that creator?
Well, I said it earlier. I would say yes to everything except gifted, right? You got to start building a portfolio. You got to start somewhere. So even though it might be out of your niche, right? Or it might be something that's a pair of socks, whatever, do it and have fun with it. The other thing, definitely don't overthink, because that's going to stall your progress, right? I think if you overthink things, you're gonna you put yourself in a box, and it's kind of hard to get out of that and really just expand. And the other thing is just have fun, man. You're making videos, right? If you don't like it, you can delete it and do another one. It doesn't matter if your hair is messy. It doesn't. I mean, in fact, I think I don't remember, it was the other day, maybe it was one of your videos, Laura, I don't know, but I think somebody I was talking to or saw said that their best performing massive viral video was when they had just woken up and their hair was all crazy and they looked like they just woke up. But that was the best video they did because it was that natural, right? It wasn't a fancy video that had been lots of post-production and everything. It was just a super natural way. And I think what people really want is to connect with that person on the other side of video.
Yeah.
So just be yourself and have fun.
At the end of the day, it's a UGC for a reason, right? We have to make
Yeah.
it natural and authentic. It doesn't have to be that deep. We're literally just like creating videos for brands. It's not that deep.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, Jared, where can people find you?
Well, my Instagram is always the best. It has my links to everything, and it's just jaredbrubaker.com. jaredbrubaker.com spelled out.
Amazing. All right. I mean, this was an amazing talk. I think we had a lot of value from it for the people listening. And I guess that's a wrap for now.
Awesome.
All right.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. It was fun.
Yeah, thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Cool. All right. Bye, guys.
All right, guys. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Bye.